Call this meeting to order of the Hawarden City Council. This is our regular City Council meeting on Wednesday, October 22nd, 2025 at 5:30 p.m. We are in the Hawarden City Hall in the City Council Chambers room. Our standard agenda items starts with the approval of our October 8th, 2025 regular meeting minutes. It's been in your packet. Could I have a motion, please?
So moved.
And a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor of approving the October 8th minutes, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Passes 5-0. 1B is approval of the October 22nd, 2025 claims for payment. Could I have a motion, please?
I make a motion to approve the October 22nd claims for payment.
And a second?
I'll second.
Any questions on any of those claims? If not, those in favor of approval, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 5-0. At this time, we've got open business from the community. We have no one attending tonight. So we'll move on to the mayor's report. We had negotiations meetings with the union employees yesterday. I'd like to thank Jacob, Rob, and Patty, and the employee representatives for a collaborative spirit that led to a tentative agreement that will be presented to the council for review and ratification next meeting, probably, correct?
That's the goal.
And tomorrow, we'll be hosting 40 West second graders in the building. They will be touring the building, talking with city employees, and learning about city government. This is an annual thing that we do. We're looking forward to that. Wishing good luck to the West Sioux football team on Friday. They'll begin tournament play at home against IKM Manning. Reminder that the Frog Pond Fall Festival will be on Sunday from 4 to 6 o'clock at the park in Frog Pond on Avenue A. There'll be food, music, kids' games, and local vendors. Last year, we had a very good time. We encourage you to attend that. On Thursday, October 30th, there will be a candidate forum at 7 o'clock here at the council chamber. So a good opportunity to visit with the candidates for city council and also for the school board. And then on Tuesday, November 4th, are the city and school elections in Hawarden. The polls will be open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. That's all I have. We'll move on to staff reports. Jacob.
Yeah, got a couple of those things. I won't necessarily repeat them all, but so we got last week, Pam and I went to some good training. So she started doing some of the training and meeting some other people and getting involved. So that's good for our citizens. I wanted to also talk about our meetings in November and December. We are planning on having just the one meeting in both of those months. It'd be the first meeting, the second Wednesday of each of those months. And then I'd also like to say that we have a little bit of progression in our employment seeking for the deputy clerk position right now. So I've got my fingers crossed that things are starting to move forward again on that. And then again, for the union negotiations, I would also like to say thank you for all those involved. And I hope that the community gets out and votes for our elections coming up before our next meeting.
Okay, thank you. Travis.
Work continues on the getting utilities to the condos on 20th Street and the utilities to the new park shelter. Walls are, the wood has been delivered, so that's work is going on there, so that's good to see.
Okay, Chief.
I just wanted to update everyone. We're about 3 weeks into our policy manual update. And I figure with our progress so far, after next week, we should have close to a third of the policy manual done. If we can continue at this rate, then the 8 months to a year will be substantially reduced in time and maybe even get it done in 6 months. So that's exciting.
Good to hear. Carol?
I work on a board, it's called Your Future at Work. It's with the Sioux County, I guess, communities. We gather together a group of about 700 16 and 17-year-olds, and we have it at, this year will be at Sheldon NCC College. I would encourage, and I've been calling around and asking some businesses if the owners would like to present at this event, to kind of show what opportunities we have for young people here in our community to work and stay in Sioux County. So that will be going on for the next month, and then the event is actually not until March. But it's called Your Future at Work, and it's really a great thing. We've been working a little bit with Foreign Trade Zone as usual, trying to get that launched. The Downtown Catalyst training, I did go to a grant writing training seminar last week with the state people, with Iowa Economic Development Authority. That was an awesome training. So other than that, and then working on land sales.
Okay, very good, thank you. Moving on, have time for council comments. We'll open it up if anyone has anything tonight.
Do we have anyone taking advantage of the foreign trade zone? I didn't know if we had a business taking advantage of it.
Yes, we have a business
That's
in the
what I
Foreign
thought.
Trade Zone, yes.
Is-
One operator, I guess we
Yeah.
refer to it as, yes.
Yeah, some years ago, when I was on the Northwest Iowa League of Cities, they were potentially going to utilize it, and I was hoping they would.
They did,
Good.
yeah. And we're actually trying to expand the zone and
Okay.
get more operators within the zone, so we're doing quite a bit of marketing and training.
Good.
Anything else from council? Okay. Let's move on to the other agenda items, discussion of schedule of fees. Jacob.
All right, so everybody should have one of these in their packets. I will, kind of, what we're going to do is go by these down in lines. We'll skip over a lot of the stuff that's not changing, but if you guys still want to make comments on it, we can. If you guys want to discuss things that we don't currently have recommendations for, we just feel like they're in a good spot where they're at and not looking at those. So we're going to start in section 1 of the administration fees. And this is a lot to do with our utilities for disconnects, late fees, and the ones that we're going to be looking at deal with telecom specifically, with equipment. And these fees are what are charged to those users that do not return the equipment to us. And this is due to mostly a rising of the cost of the equipment that we're giving to them, so we're just trying to recoup that back from them. And the recommendations that we have is one's for a modem going from $50 to $100. And if they have a Wi-Fi modem, going from $100 to $200 would be the cost for not returning. And then we have a new piece of equipment that we have been given out to people, and we wanted to get it added there, and that is a Wi-Fi mesh extender, and the cost for that would be $150 if not returned. Does anybody have any questions on section 1?
No?
So,
And those, when they first get their modems, that's part of the package? Or is?
so there is actually a small rental fee for using our equipment. It does come with it. Right now, that fee is pretty minimal. I think it's $3 a month for the rental, so it doesn't actually cover the equipment itself.
Sure. Okay, thank you.
All right, section 2. This is the only really thing that we have in section 2 that we're looking at changing is tapping fees for water and sewer. And we noticed that they just had a different way that they were worded in there, so we wanted to make it all uniform and have everything be time and material for installation, so it'd be the same as all the other stuff.
That makes sense.
And then everything else we were looking at is still within a realistic category of leaving it alone. Does anybody have any questions on section 2?
No?
And a reminder, we're not actually passing anything tonight, we're just discussing it. We'll bring it back next meeting to actually pass these. And for the public, that means that these new fees won't take effect until after they are passed and the date that we set them to take effect in. Okay, section 3 then, we'll move along. This is going to be one of our bigger changes. This is for building permits. Currently, we charged we currently charge $2 for every $1,000 of estimated construction costs, with a $10 minimum and a $500 maximum. And when we're looking at other cities, we are very low comparatively. So we are looking to change that minimum to $30 and then increasing that maximum to $2,000 because we have a lot of projects that are in that large upper end, and the $500 just doesn't quite capture that for that. The other change that we're doing here is for when anything needs a variance or special exception. The costs that were passed on to the customer was $100, but we felt that that was low for the amount of time and effort that is put into that. There's meetings that have to be held during this time, getting a hold of all of the boards that are involved with this, sending out letters to all of the properties within a certain vicinity of that area. So we recommended just changing that to $200. Any questions on that section? Then we'll move on to section 4. So section 4 deals with our swimming pool. And one of the things that we wanted to do was remove that 7 to 13 age gap of $4. And we're just going to make 7 and up to be that $5 fee. The 6 and under will still be free. And so that's the only recommendation in that section. For swimming lessons, it was recommended that we move everything to $40, resident or non-resident alike, to keep it simplified for those at the pool and signing up for that. And then also removing a fee for private lessons, as the city is not going to be involved in collecting that money. It's going to go directly to those that are providing the lessons. And then shelter house, I'm going to go ahead and let Travis take over from here.
I put in the time for rental 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. I kind of wanted to have a discussion about that. Previously, it was like 8 in the morning till 10, and sometimes it went even later. And then in the morning, I was hoping to move that back to 9 because we always have somebody come in and check it. Hopefully it's clean. It's just, somebody comes in, looks at it, maybe wipes a few things down or whatever. But if it's not ready, then they might spend an hour or two cleaning it. So that's why it's 9 o'clock. And then the evening, 9 p.m., just we've had some issues in the past, loud noises, stuff like that. So we thought moving it to 9, I think that's, even during the summer, it's light till about 9, so. Any thoughts, or is that good to go? Okay. And then shelter house fees. So we definitely want to increase it. It was $75. Some area shelters are up to $300. We'd kind of like to make it still family friendly, and encourage people to rent it. So the initial thought was $200 with a $100 deposit, and then so when the person comes in to check it, they'll get a regular fee to check it. But if they have to stay and clean for an hour or two, then they would get that deposit or a portion of it.
So $200 total.
$200 to rent it, $100
$200
deposit.
okay.
If it's dirty, we keep the deposit. So they would essentially bring $300 in and get $100 back. And we're open to any discussion, thoughts.
That's still really reasonable in my mind. We charge more than that, obviously, but, and then our deposit's just about as big as what the rental is, because we've had them walk away and not want to clean it too. So you spend 4 hours cleaning it up, it's a lot of work, so.
Yeah, and we can do anything if you think you want to go higher or lower, or
It's probably okay.
just leave it at,
See how it
at
goes.
that and
Yeah.
see how the first year goes. We can always
Start
adjust at any time. So,
Start there.
yeah, sounds good.
So do we have people staying past that 10 PM timeframe before?
Well, there had been, yeah,
So this is
and,
just trying to get them out on time?
yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Because it shouldn't be up to the police to drive by
No.
when it's rented and
Kick 'em
kick
out.
people out, yeah.
Yeah.
So. And then
Yeah.
they got better things to do.
Keyword shouldn't.
And then the camper fees, just trying to
Change it to 20, that's sensible.
increase those to what the surrounding campgrounds are. Because we do offer all the utilities, water, sewer,
Yeah.
electric, so
Yeah, it's
that
nice.
stuff can add up.
No, I think it's okay, that first deal,
Okay.
number
and then-
whatever, 4.
Section
Yep,
four.
we'll go with the suggested, and like I said, if we need to adjust later, we can. Cemetery fees, we kind of dug into this a little bit too. We're probably just breaking even on some of the burials and cost to dig, and, you know, you're always going back, leveling, adding dirt, and then trying to seed it. So the increases are a little more substantial, so you know, if we'd like, something we could do over 2 years, do a smaller increase this year and then look at it again next year. But, and these costs are comparable to, other cemeteries. The prices are just
That's what I
going
was
up for
gonna ask,
services.
if you've
So,
seen,
yeah, these are based off of, surrounding
okay.
communities, so. Cemetery lot sales, you know, kind of put that as a discussion. That's kind of all over the board between 500 and 700, so just wanted to get your thoughts on that. You have to consider that is trying to cover perpetual care for the cemetery as well.
Mhm.
We could kind of go right down the middle at 600, and
That's what I was,
That's kind of what I was looking, the 5 to 6.
And any thoughts on those increases for the openings? Do you want
Can you,
to step them up, or?
I said, can you break them in half and do them half 1 year, half? the-
Absolutely, yeah,
I mean, that's a big increase.
yeah,
So just break them in half and get there in 2 years rather than all
Yep.
at once.
yep. Yeah, and that's why, yeah,
Yeah, so
put that down as
Some
an
of 'em
option
double.
because
Some
it
of them
is,
are doubled, so.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at too, and they exhuming.
they probably hadn't been looked at for a long time.
No.
So.
yeah. So we'll come back with next month at half that. We'll do a step for 2 years.
Mhm. All right, and then, if there's no questions on the cemetery for that, we'll move into the miscellaneous. And this is mostly, we're gonna be looking at, the first section I'm gonna be looking at is the peddlers, solicitors, food truck vendors, right? So what we're looking at doing for this is increasing those fees up to be something that's more competitive to what's happening to other cities around us. 30 days peddlers or solicitors would just be at $100, and then they could do it for annual for $200. That's per person that's out there doing this stuff. And one of the ideas that we have behind some of this increase as well is we think it would be a good idea if we had a section on our website that when they come in and they get signed up for this stuff, that we'll put the ones that have paid for it. So if somebody's got somebody soliciting stuff at their door, they could go to the city website and check to make sure that that is somebody that has done this. So we're going to be working with Civic for now to try and come up with a decent place to put that. And then if we decide to move with another vendor in the future, that we could have a section that people could go and see who has these licenses. That would also kind of be the same for food trucks. So, but the food trucks, you got, instead of a daily, we're going to go to a minimum of a 3-day. They can choose between a 3-day and an annual. Obviously, you know, this is something that we could discuss. But with our 3 days, we saw mostly between $50 and $100. So we kind of like left it up there for what you guys wanted to give us feedback on, what you would see for a 3-day vendor permit for food trucks. And then the annual goes from like 150 to 300 for the average around our area. I would probably lean towards the higher.
I was gonna say 3 days for $100 ain't bad.
No.
I was going to say
Um,
even
But
that
I'm gonna
could
spend
be
the 50
higher.
bucks and do an annual is what I'm gonna do.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
So,
I think they both need to be higher, in my opinion, for
so
food trucks. I would like to see both 3-day and the annual higher.
higher than the 100
Than
and
what's
300?
listed. Yep.
Any other thoughts on that? Did we bring up the averages from those?
I didn't.
What are that? You don't know the averages on them?
Not, I didn't have that stuff with me right here, so I think they're on sticky notes downstairs.
We can look that up
Okay,
and come back with
Yeah.
some numbers.
sure.
And then to pass,
And,
we could have a discussion,
Yeah.
change them, and then pass whatever we decide that night, so.
Okay.
Absolutely. And I get the reasoning behind, and that's why I was
Yeah.
suggesting that we do with the higher ones there as well, so. We don't want to obviously outprice people from being here, but
Right.
we want
But
to
at the
have
same time, you know.
support for
they're
our community
competing
as
with
well.
Other businesses in town for food and everything
Mhm.
else. so.
Yeah. You should remember, some businesses start in a food truck though before they graduate. to a
Exactly.
restaurant, so
Exactly.
You have to be somewhat tolerant of that.
Mhm.
Yep.
Outside of those, the only other thing that we're looking at changing is an accident report for when insurance companies send a request for our police department to send out a report. Brian has suggested that we change ours to $10. We didn't actually have it in ours before this, but we were getting $7, so I don't know where that number came from. But, so he suggested a $10 fee for that. And I believe that brings us to the end of our suggestions for the schedule of fees. Does anybody have any comments on any of that we didn't talk about yet? 'Cause I think we've got enough notes written down, and we're good to go on all the sections but the food trucks. So that's all we need for section 3.
Okay, thank you. We'll address those the next meeting then. Number 4 on our agenda is approval of the audit engagement letter with Williams and Company.
All right, so this is a requirement before them being able to conduct their audit this year. They will be here at the end of November, and what this basically goes over is their scope and objectives for the audit. So this is just something that needs to be passed before they can start.
So move.
Second it.
Okay, got a motion and a second. All those in favor of approving, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 5-0. Number 5 is discussion on possible sale of city property.
Do you want me to start this one?
Yes.
SD Construction has expressed a desire to purchase the lot that's indicated here. I did work up and have a meeting with him. His intention is to build a larger construction-type building, just a Morton building, 60 by 80, to start his construction business and store his equipment here in town. He does have a few employees already, and he will be expanding his crew. He is getting to be quite busy, as all construction companies are. I did a breakout of the cost based on what we sold the last lots to Adbar and B+P Construction. We did it at 50 cents per square foot. The lot is roughly 65,000 square feet. That brought the price to $33,750. what we've done in the past, because our industrial park sits in the floodplain, is we've compensated them for the cost of having to bring in the dirt and build the building up. So I spoke with Boyer and I spoke with Siggy, the owner, and $12,000 was what they estimated would be the maximum that could cost, which brought the cost of the lot down to $21,759. When I sold the lots to Adbar and B+B, we did do an economic development grant to them to help, facilitate that sale, because we hadn't had any sales in there since Truesdale Oil. I did 10,000 then, but due to the cost of things and things going up, that just didn't seem possible to sell it for that. So I cut that back to a $5,000 economic development grant, which brought the sale of the lot to $16,759. That, of course, is not set in stone. It certainly can be discussed. I did tell him also, it's a real estate transaction. It is negotiable. But he is excited about building, and he's ready to
That's
go.
good.
Does
Yeah.
that pavement stop right?
It stops at the Adbar building. It
I was
stops
trying
at
to look.
Waddy's storage kind of business condos is where it
Yeah.
stops.
And we did gravel out to the end of his building. So if this goes through, then this fall, we would do gravel up to his portion. But then we're going to have a discussion this winter about possible paving, at least to the intersection, or possibly all of it. Then it's a lot better and easier to have these discussions if, you've got the pavement concrete there.
I am working with one group right now on a possible purchase of a second lot, of another lot. Siggy wanted to buy both lots, the two and the one to the east of the one but at this time he wasn't ready to build, and I said, well, we do usually put in a contingency that you have to begin work like within 6 months and substantial complete within 18. And he didn't feel that was possible to have that accomplished, so.
I think it's reasonable
Yeah.
with comp prices you're coming up with.
Sounds like a reasonable sale
And
price
then
to
we're being
me.
consistent
Right.
with how the others were treated, which is important.
Sell them all.
Yes. That would
I
be my goal
agree
in life.
with looking at putting a street in,
Yep.
Yeah, we need to.
as
That-
industrial parks.
And that is
Going
going to
in.
be a substantial cost, probably.
Yeah.
So, but it is something that we're going to need to do if we're looking to go further, which we are looking to go further. We want to fill this up, right? So,
Sure.
That is in a new TIF district, so
That's what I
we're
was just
able
gonna
to.
ask, is it in the
Yeah.
TIF district?
Is there any advantage to like a retention pond that we could pull material out of and build there to? I know a lot of cities do that just for the fact that it slows down the impact of heavy rain or whatever, but.
Yeah, we actually talked about, this doesn't show it on here, but we talked about that. There's a sliver that goes up behind and a drainage area through there, so that is a possibility. We actually just talked
Yeah.
about that.
Big enough to get. enough
Yeah, we could
material to
borrow
raise
from
it,
it,
Mhm.
and,
Cause that'd be a huge advantage,
yeah.
not having truckers.
Right. So
Okay.
at the next meeting, we would set the public hearing, we'd have a resolution to set a public hearing, have a public hearing, and then possibly have the land sold right away.
Very good. Thank you, Carol. Moving on to number 6 is discussion on the WAPA renewable energy credits.
So this will be a yearly discussion going forward. Renewable energy credits are also called RECs. It's basically, we get our electricity from WAPA, which is the dams. So you get renewable energy credits for all the energy we buy from them. We receive those credits at no cost. So we can either use them, and now this year they've changed it where we can actually sell those back to other customers, say Minnesota. They have legal requirements from the state to be 40, 50, whatever percentage renewable or carbon-free. And to us, there's no legal requirements, so it's just a feel-good green statement where you can say, hey, we're 87% or 100% carbon-free. Doesn't
Renewable.
really do anything. It doesn't help us grant-wise or anything like that, so.
The pressure from, or like Missouri River Energy works to have a large part of it be renewable and carbon-free and complying with the federal Department of Energy.
Yep.
And therefore, because we've invested, we get these RECs. It's really kind of nice, because, I mean, it's a way of getting some funds back for what you've done. You know, the changes to
Oh, yeah.
gain more renewable
Yep.
status.
So I've laid out 3 options, but we can do anything in between as well. So if, option 1, we could sell all our RECs, now we're talking about 2026. So they're estimating what our RECs would be in 2026. They'll true up what they actually are at the end. And then if we do sell these, we wouldn't see the money till March of 2027. First option would be we sell all our RECs back to Missouri River Energy. They in turn sell them back to members who need them. We would get $21,879 back to the electric fund. Option 2 would be we claim all those RECs, and then we get to say we're 83% renewable, we're 87% carbon-free.
We can make that statement.
We can
even
make
though
that statement legally. make
Yeah,
that
legally,
statement.
even though we don't have those state requirements like Minnesota does. So within Missouri River, there's all the municipals in Iowa, South Dakota, Minnesota, and they need them, so within.
Within the
yeah,
footprint.
Within the
Yep.
Missouri River, yeah.
And then there's another option where we could actually spend the money and purchase $3,506 worth of RECs, and then we could claim 100% carbon-free and 97% renewable. Being that we don't need them,
I would say
sell 'em.
recommendation would be
To
to
sell 'em
sell
back.
them.
Sell them unless we get faced with the requirement.
And,
Right.
and this is an annual thing, so if there comes a year where we need some, we have them for free,
Mhm.
so to get to a certain level. Or we could say we want to sell half and keep half and only be at 50% renewable, so. But I mean, at this point, since we don't need them, I recommend selling them.
No, I agree.
You'll see in the next meeting or two, we've been allowed to sell them, but we have to renew our contract that says we can sell them. So Jenny just looked at those last week, so they'll be sent off to be approved, and then they'll come from WAPA. It's just
Process.
changing our contract that says we can sell them. But right now, I just need your approval and to sell
I
them,
think
so.
you should.
This year we will, and then we'll bring back next year and we'll see where we're at.
You need a vote?
Yeah, we should do a voice vote.
So moved.
Second,
This is for option 1, correct?
option 1, yes.
Correct.
Okay, got a motion and a second. All those in favor of option 1, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 5-0. We don't have anything on the consent agenda tonight, so we are ready to adjourn. I would take a motion, please.
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
All those in favor of adjourning, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 5-0. We are adjourned at 6:04 PM. Thank you.
Yes. I might do you as a write-in, who knows?